Sky Blue Fans TV. For the fans, by the fans.
Yeah, well, good evening. Welcome to Sky Blue Fans TV. I'm Milesy. I'm in the hot seat tonight, and what a show we have got coming up for you. And just want to say how proud I am of the boys last night. What a great performance. They really took it to Spurs, and you know, it could have gone to penalties, or we could have held out and we could have stayed in at 1-0 and gone through to the next round. But it wasn't meant to be, but a fantastic performance, and we're going to talk about that first on in the show this evening. We're also going to have a little chat tonight with Amelia and Dan. They had a mascot package last night, so we're going to hear all about their experience and what it was like to be a mascot in front of the Sky cameras as well. So I bet all Amelia's friends seen her at school today asking for autographs, I bet, in the background there. And we got a little bit of a fun competition tonight. There's no prize up for grabs. It's just a bit of fun. Guess the two players. It's really easy. So you should be able to get these two players, and you can put your comments in there. And then at the halfway through the show, we're going to talk about this weekend, Swansea. What do you think the team's going to be? Who's going to be playing? And is there going to be any players from last night starting? Or is there going to be some surprises? And is Ben Sheaf injured again? Who knows? Robin said he's got ice on his ankle, but we'll have to wait and see. And see if he does turn up this Saturday for the mighty Sky Blues. Right then, we've got a packed channel tonight. We've got loads of guests coming on. But first of all, let's get our presenters on first. Let's introduce. Good evening, Claudio.
Good evening, Miles. How are you?
All good, mate. All good. I'm pretty chipper, actually. I'm quite chirpy. Great performance. Great performance.
Oh, yeah. It was, well, they were excellent, weren't they? We were for 87 minutes. We were fantastic. And just for those last, 3 minutes away from a great victory, which we deserved.
Yeah, definitely deserved it. Yeah, definitely. Right. And also, we got Kenneth. Good evening, Kenneth. How are you?
Good evening, all. Yes, fine, thank you. Yeah, still a bit gutted about last night, but hey ho, we just go carry on, haven't we? And take it into the next game. That performance.
Yeah, and you were late getting out of there last night, and you still didn't see man of the match. So we don't even know who got man of the match, do we?
I don't know. I waited for over an hour up there, but they still didn't come up. So I don't know what the delay was, but no, still didn't see the man of the match. But they all played well, as far as I'm concerned. I thought the team as a whole played well last night, didn't they?
Yeah, they certainly did. Right, let's get our other guests on then. Let's bring in Mr. Dave Boddy. Good evening, Dave.
Evening, all.
Dave,
how are you? You all right?
Yeah, great. Thanks. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I thought it was a great performance last night. Yeah, as I said off air, I don't very often get too despondent about defeats, but I was really disappointed the way we lost it in the end last night because, for a large part of the game, I thought we were the better team. Certainly, second half, we created a lot of chances, and again, guilty of not getting that second goal. Because I think the second goal would have finished them as it would have done at Watford on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely would have done. And our final two guests this evening, they're sitting together in the room. It's Daniel and, well, Dan. We won, Dan. No, we scored, Dan. Dan and Emily. Good evening, Dan and Emily. How are you?
Evening. Very well, Miles. Thank you for having us on.
Evening, Dan.
Good. Are you never going to live that down, are you, Dan?
Certainly won't. No, it's in everyone's vocabulary now, isn't it?
It is definitely is. Right then, let's get on to last night. We'll come around the room. We'll do a little bit about the team each. We'll come to you first, Claudio. What did you make to the defensive lineup last night and the goalkeeper?
It's I think it's what we expected. I think we actually called the team. I think pretty much on the previous show, so I was quite happy with the lineup, and the bench looked quite strong, didn't it? So no, all in all, it's kind of what I expected. Yeah, I'm excited by Bissett, so it was good to see him start. And it's weird because when you look at the lineup, I'm thinking of. I mean, I spoke highly of Bentancur on Sunday night, and I'm thinking, my word, is up against Jamie Allen. How's he going to fare? And to be honest, Jamie Allen, Josh Eccles, I think did a great job last night. Josh Eccles, if he plays like that with a captain's armband, give him the captain's armband every game, because that was some performance for 70 minutes. I thought he was excellent. But no, I was quite happy with the starting lineup.
Yeah, definitely wasn't. And Ken, Claudio's just touched on it there. Alan started, but the armband went to Josh. What a proud moment.
Yeah, I thought he did really well. He was fantastic yesterday. And that's what we want to see. The problem is with Eccles, I feel, and everybody else feels, he's just so inconsistent, isn't he? He'll play one great game, and then he'll go missing in the next couple of games. He's got to be consistently good. That's what he's missing. And if he can get that into his game, play like that, like he did last night, every game. I know it's always impossible to do it every game, but put a performance like that, then the fans will soon back him, no problem. I thought he was superb yesterday, and I thought, keep giving the armband all day long if he's going to play like
that. I mean, to be out to have that chance to be given the armband over Allen, who normally takes the armband if he's on the pitch and Latabodier's not there or Sheaf's not there. Allen always gets that normally. I mean, it's a fantastic achievement for him. And he had a new set of boots on as well last night.
Yeah, I noticed there was a few flashy pairs of boots on the pitch. From both teams, I think, weren't there? A lot of orange.
I don't know why Timo Werner had new boots on, because he didn't do anything for most of the game. Dave, we'll come to you. I mean, you've seen Big Vic at our club. I mean, how do you rate Bissett's performance last night? There's a Victor Gyökeres in there, isn't there, don't you think?
Yeah, I really like him. The bits I've seen of him so far, I think he's got a pace to die for, which, you talk to any defender, the last thing they want is pace, and he's got it in abundance. He works his socks off. He closes down, and I think I'd like to see him start on Saturday, if I'm honest. The bits that we've seen of him, I think he's still raw. I think there's quite a lot of raw sort of talent out there, but I really like what I see so far, and the cross for the goal was sublime, wasn't it?
Absolutely superb. The build up to that goal was just brilliant, wasn't it? I mean, the ball that was played up to Rodoni out to Bissett, and then obviously the cross into the box, and it was a great finish by Asante, wasn't it?
It was, yes, it was a poacher's finish, wasn't it? A striker's finish, absolutely. But you talk about Josh Eccles, just going back to conversation. I thought Josh was outstanding last night, as he was on Saturday. Him and Talk were outstanding on Saturday at Watford. And I think Josh is, he's sort of, he's been given that responsibility in the middle of the park, and he's taking it on. He's almost the senior player in there when Ben Sheaf's not around, and he's taken it on really well. As I said, I thought they were both him and Talk were outstanding on Saturday. I thought Josh was outstanding last night. He's certainly making his mark, isn't he? Now, I mean, you talk about senior players. Jamie Allen's a senior player. He's played 150 games for the club, been on what I call journey for a large part of the journey. But Josh is. Josh has played over 100 games, so he's not. You can't class him as a youngster really anymore, can you? He's an experienced player with 100 games to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, we'll come to you, Dan. We just lost you for a sec. We're just talking about Bissett and Eccles in that game last night. Just saying that Bissett really looks like a future Victor Gyökeres, the way he put himself about last night, didn't he?
Yeah, I think to touch on Josh Eccles, I think he's really come of age in the last couple of seasons, to be honest. And I think that's why obviously Mark believes in him so much. With Bissett, I think that's probably where we went wrong last night in bringing him off. I've been saying on the fans forums that I think he should start games. He allows us our midfield, I believe, to move up the pitch because he occupies their defenders more so than what Sims does. So it basically gets us into shape. And I thought that last night when he come off, and I like Sims as well, but I just the Bissett's is second to none. He's very good. He's a very Victor Gyökeres type player, isn't he? And I think looking at that appointment, that player, you can really see why he's been brought into the club. He's a fantastic asset already at 19. Sorry, is he 20 now? Isn't he? Is it was his birthday the other week? Was it?
Yeah,
could have been. Yeah,
the week. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Yeah, so we bought him at 19, but now he's 20. Yeah, so another great addition to the club, which is, I believe, now going in the right direction. Yeah.
Claudio, talking about the defence part of the team last night, they did a great job in the first half. I mean, Ben Wilson didn't have anything to do really in the first half, did he? Bobby Thomas, Louis Binks. I mean, Binks was just on fire in that first 45 minutes. He was clearing up everything. I mean, Bobby Thomas has definitely raised his game for that last night, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought Bobby Thomas and Binks is superb. They just cleared the lines really well in the first half. And Milan was brilliant. And I mean, he's playing opposite. I know you'll laugh. An Italian international was against him, which they took off at half time. But, they're playing against really good players. But I always felt while they had Solanke on the pitch, we'd got a chance because we know Solanke. He's a slight upgrade on Ellis Sims. He's nothing majorly special. And the longer Kulusevski was off the pitch, the better for us. I think that's where our problem started when he came on, basically. But I thought Binks and Thomas were brilliant, and they just kept clearing the lines, didn't they? And I love that. Well, it was a foul by Binks on their lad, and he just took him out. He took Johnson out completely. And I thought that's what you need. And I was sat near Dave, and we were with some Spurs fans as well, where we were sitting. And my lad turned around to this lad who's a Spurs fan. He went, "Welcome to the Championship."
How old was the lad?
Well, it was the same age as Luca. He was about 20, in his 20s. It was just so funny.
He was on a 5-year-old then or something.
No, that's what I do. But I thought, yeah, exactly. And that's what you needed, didn't you? You need to sometimes it's not very nice, but, you got to put your foot in.
Yeah.
And Binks, I thought, was absolutely magnificent in the first half.
Yeah. He definitely was. And Ken, Jamie Allen, what a great performance.
Jamie Allen's played well. I mean, considering he's been in and out of the team this season, hasn't he? But when he comes in, he normally does a great job when he does come in, and he was fantastic last night. He was brilliant. He was here, there, and everywhere. And I mean, I can't fault anybody last night really, because I thought they all played well, and it was a great team performance, and we deserve better. But unfortunately, you don't always get what you deserve, do you, in football? It has a habit of kicking you in the teeth when you don't expect it, and that was a bit of a downer in the end. Yeah. But performance-wise, brilliant.
Yeah, very, very, very good. And Dave, I mean, overall, that performance last night, where would you rate that performance, say, over the last 12 months, that performance at home last night against Spurs?
It was up there, wasn't it? I thought first and foremost in games like that, you've got to compete, haven't you? And I thought to a man they competed. And you talked about Binks and stamping his authority on the game, shall we say? But they competed. Everybody worked their socks off. When they've looked at the numbers they've produced this morning, there'll be high numbers, and that was the important thing. There's old adage in football: you earn the right to play, and I think we did that last night. We were quite deep in the first half, weren't we? And respectful. But as we grew in confidence and as we could get the wide players, the wing backs a little bit further forward. Sorry, not the wing backs, Hadji and Asante. I thought we stamped our authority on the game, and it was exciting. There was a 20-minute period of time where they were rocking Spurs. Where I thought before we scored, Wright should have scored, and we had another half sort of chance. And I just if we're being hypercritical, we have got to kill teams off when we have those sort of spells.
Yeah.
Saw the same thing on Saturday. We absolutely dominated the first half at Watford on Saturday and created quality chances and didn't put them away, and it comes back to bite you.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up Hadji Wright, because I mean he is a great player. We all know he's a great player. People are saying he's the best player that we've got, but he did again in that second half what he does week in, week out. He got the ball to the byline, and instead of cutting the ball back across the box where it could take any deflection or anything, it could come off a defender and go in the back of the net, he tried to take on one extra player. That is so frustrating, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And you're right, he does do it game in, game out. It is frustrating, yeah. I was brought up, you get the ball in the box as quickly as you can or across the box, and anything can happen, can't it? But he just wants to have another go. He feigns and goes again when he has the opportunity to get the ball across. So, yeah, I'd like to see him release the ball from the byline a lot earlier than he does.
Yeah, I mean, it was so frustrating because it was an opportunity there, Claudio, wasn't it? He got to right near the goalpost. Actually, it was right in front of us. He was virtually on the goalpost, and all it needed was a nice little cutback, and it could have come off anyone. It could have just gone in. I mean, it can be frustrating, can't it, Claudio?
Well, the first half, I was calling him Haji wrong because I just felt like he wasn't getting his feet in the right place. He was trying to turn and do things in our own half, and making it dangerous, losing the ball. And of course, in the second half, he had a great chance to put us. Well, he should have scored, shouldn't he? And to me, if you said everyone else was like a 7.5, 8 last night, he was like a 6. I thought. He is, and it's the frustrating part of it. I still would love to see him play down the middle. I think, as we bought him as an out-and-out striker, but obviously Mark Robbins likes him out on the left. But I think leave Mason Clark to do that. Because he obviously got pace. I'm thinking, why can't we use that down the middle? It's he overdoes it sometimes, and it is frustrating because. You want to get that ball in the box when you can. When we put balls in the box early, we look dangerous, like we did last night. It's good to see. I mean, we're all sitting here, I think, all very frustrated because we know we should be in the hat, basically. Yeah. But I've come on here week in, week out saying, if we lose, at least please entertain me, make me want to get those ooh-ah moments. I mean, I had so many ooh-ah moments. I thought I was on my honeymoon again. and I've had two of those.
Don't have a third.
Dan, what was it like? I mean, explain. So Emilio had a mascot package. Where were you sitting last night then? Did you have different seats? We've lost Dan. We've lost him. Have we? Yeah, I think we've lost Dan.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah. So, where were you sitting last night? Because your daughter had the mascot package. No, he's gone again. You keep losing him. Never mind. Can we get some comments while we wait for Dan to join us again? So we'll have a look at some comments if that's all right.
Can I just ask Dave a question? I did warn him last night. I'm going to ask him a question. And it isn't what were the financial accounts of? No, it wasn't. It's as a CEO of a football club. What did you find was the hardest part in that role for you personally?
Well, I think it's ultimately responsibility. The buck stopped with me. It stops with Mark Robbins on the pitch. It stopped with me. Obviously, the way that the ownership worked when I was CEO, that they gave me, certainly in the latter part of my tenure, sort of carte blanche to really do what we needed to do. But with that comes a lot of pressure, doesn't it? Obviously the issues we had with the stadium have never been far from my door in terms of dealing with them. The issue we had with the pitch was fairly horrific. I think it's the responsibility that comes with it. There's great rewards, but a lot of pressure. But as I said previously, I wouldn't have changed any minute of any second that I had at the club, because through rough and smooth it was a great adventure, and we've had a lot of excitement and fun and success along the way.
With the move to Birmingham, was there any threats from the EFL that if you don't sort yourselves out, you may have to be kicked out of the league? Was that ever a decision that could have been made?
Not at the time, no. But I think if it happened again, they wouldn't be very sympathetic. I think that's probably fair to say. We've had lots of conversations with them since then, and I think obviously having gone to Northampton and then to Birmingham, I think that they wouldn't suffer another incident, shall we say?
I don't know what the lads think, but I think the worst time in that period was when you knew it was a date of a decision, and then you heard on the news there's no decision. It's gone to the following month, and we're like, "Oh, come on, we just need to know what's happening with our club."
Yeah.
It was such a frustrating time.
Yeah, I think, frustrating for me as well. I think that's right. And I've had lots of problems with Wasps, but one of the problems I had with them was that they, whenever there was a deadline, or a deadline set by the EFL, they just never ever kept any sort of deadlines. When you're in discussions and you've got a project going, you have to have timelines and deadlines, and they just never kept to any deadline, and that was a massive frustration to me. And there were obviously lots of games going on, which ultimately led us to finish up in Birmingham. It was, I get your frustration. I had it, I lived it, and it was very difficult.
Yeah, I imagine.
I thought that you start me on Wasps and I could talk all night, but I just felt that they were when an institution like the EFL sets you a deadline, for them to just completely ignore it is just disrespectful to the game. I think if the boot had been on the other foot and we'd have done something like that to rugby union, they wouldn't be very happy. And you have to work with the associations that you're involved with, and I just felt that they were disrespectful in that respect.
Yeah. Shall I read some comments out?
Yeah.
Yeah, get some comments. Yep, we're trying to get Dan back on, but he keeps cutting in and out.
That's Paul Hughes. Evening all, very proud of the team.
Good evening.
Got a happier Wayne Littlewood. Evening all. What a game yesterday that was. Despite the result, the president has been set on how to play. I think MR has questions to answer on his subs, but overall, just a brilliant game. Doug Bolam. Evening all, great performance last night. From Glenn Watkin. So proud of the team. Spurs got out of jail. We were the better side for 75 minutes, Angie's a lucky boy. Eccles' immense Bassett was superb. Plus Thomas and Binks kept Solanke quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, has anyone seen the incident with the handball?
No.
No.
No?
Down the
No
other
one's
end.
seen, yeah, well, it was in front of us, and the player's gone to the ground, and I haven't seen a replay of it, so I don't know. But everyone was literally shouting it was handball. It was like as if he'd gone down and he was putting his arms out to stop the ball.
Didn't see it.
Yeah, but I'm not. I haven't seen a replay of it yet, so I don't really know.
Was that in the penalty area then, was it?
Yeah. In second half, yeah. It was after. I think it was after the incident with the goalkeeper at the edge of the box. I think it was after that, and
Right.
we went to whip the ball across the box, and the player's on the floor and he's put his arms out, and I'm not sure if it did hit his hand. It happened that quick. You couldn't really tell, to be honest.
Paul Cuttiford, is it ironic that Spurs scored in the 87th minute?
Yeah, Paul said that to me last night when it went in. He went, "Look at that." He said, "Look at the time," and I went, "Oh God, it had to be, didn't it?"
Gibbo, hi guys, great performance, great atmosphere, and we play like that against Swansea on Saturday. We will win. Let's hope we don't play like we did against Norwich.
Yeah.
This is from Catty Kaz. Can you call Claudio Jack as he's always in the box? Well, you'll be pleased to know on Saturday I'll be back with my people in Block 18. I've got to get back there and organise Block 18. I'll tell you what, being across that side of the ground, it was really, you don't realise how loud it is from that side of the ground. Yeah, the atmosphere was really electric at one point last night. It was brilliant.
I can imagine how it sounded.
Wayne Littlewood, man of the match, I think, had to be Rodoni. The difference he looked at with having two players up front actually running into the channels was brilliant.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. He was my man of the match as well. He had an outstanding game at Watford on Saturday, and I thought he was equally as good last night. The player we saw glimpses of in pre-season is coming to the party now for me.
Yeah, I do like him. I do like him. Catty Kaz says, "Hi Dan, my 4-goal Superman." He's not on the air at the minute. He's disappeared again. Catty Kaz, hi Ken. Great to see you again. I see you flipped to a fiver again, Ken, to get the
get the shout out.
Dave Granigan, even everyone, hope everyone is okay. What a game. Gutted we couldn't get it over the line. Didn't think we deserved to lose. Hopefully they'll need to kick on now. Graham Cockrell, well, what a game. I'm impressed the way we played. If we can do that in every game for the rest of the season, we're going to go up and knocking on the door for a promotion. This is a good point because Ben Wilson was brilliant last night. I thought Wilson should be our number one. He's been great in the games he has played this season. Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up. Now, Wilson last night, as I said in the first half, he didn't really have much to do, did he, guys? He there was one where he had to step over the back of the line and hold the ball. That was about it. There wasn't anything he had to do. But second half, he made a couple of good saves, and it could have been. We could have been 2-0 down, 2-1 down at one point. Earlier on.
They were
if
really
it wasn't
big,
for Ben.
They're really big saves, both of them, weren't they, in terms of the timing of the game? Look, I thought Ben last night looked, and the games he's played, looked back to the way he was 2 years ago when we made the playoffs. He was, total confidence in his own performance during that season, and again made big saves at big moments as we were on our way to the Wembley playoff. And I thought he looked the complete goalkeeper again last night. And you're right, for me, he will be knocking on the door. We haven't seen enough of Tobin yet. I haven't seen enough of him. I've seen most of the games. He hasn't had an awful lot to do. He's made a few saves. He's come and punched quite a bit, but we don't really know what he's capable of as a keeper. But I thought Ben last night looked the real deal again.
Yeah, his distribution. Sorry, Claudio. His distribution was good on the ball as well last night. You know, when we were trying to play it out from the back, Ken. He looked very confident last night, didn't he? He didn't look like he was rushing it. He didn't look like he was panicking. He made the right call, didn't he, last night?
Yeah, he did. I thought he's a good keeper. I mean, we're lucky we've got some good keepers, you know. And even number 3's a reasonably good keeper as well, Collins. But they've all made mistakes along the way at some stage, haven't they? And unfortunately, when you make a mistake as a goalkeeper, you get noticed, as we all know. But,
you absolutely do.
That's the problem.
I think just going back to Ben, I think he suffered a crisis of confidence last season. It culminated in the West Bromwich Albion game at home when he threw one in, didn't he? And that had been coming for a few weeks in his performance, and I think he was struggling with himself. And confidence is a massively important thing for a goalkeeper, and it went missing on him, I think. But I think he looks like he's regained that, and he looks the complete player to me.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to have the backup. Yeah.
The problem with goalkeepers is you can't come on for a 15-minute cameo, can you? Like the outfield players. So you're coming from the cold most of the time, don't you? It's very, very difficult. So will he play Saturday? Will we see him again at all this season? It's like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's keepers.
Yeah. I think we've got Dan back. We got you back now, Dan.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All good.
Right. Apologies.
I'm
in the house with the extension. I think it may be that. It's his signal.
Paid your bill.
Yeah, that's what I'm coming to. This, that's what I think the problem is.
Okay. Well, we'll bear with it for a bit with you.
Just about paid that one.
We were just saying about Ben Wilson. He had a good game.
Yeah, for me, he starts on Saturday.
He's gone again.
He's gone.
I think someone's going to have to message him and say we'll have to get him on another night. Any chance if one of you guys can? I haven't got his details. So just message him.
I think his last comment was, "For me, he starts." I think I heard him say that.
On the weekend.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So comment from Wayne. Eccles was great, Claudia. It's just his consistency which is poor, and that's why he gets a criticism sometimes. Last night, faultless.
Yeah.
Lee Beckett. Wolves, Man United, Everton, Spurs. We've now won 2 out of 4 games against Prem teams and should have won the other 2. What a time to support this team. Mark Rainbow. My biggest takeaway from last night was the performance. It had the spark that has been missing so far this season, which is what we were saying, wasn't it? You want to, if you lose, nobody wants to lose, but you want to feel like you could have at least drawn or won the game. But when you reflect on the performance against Norwich, which was an absolute nothing performance, this is like 100% better, isn't it? What we saw last night, much better.
Oh yeah,
I think it followed on from Saturday as well, because I thought we were outstanding on
Yeah,
Saturday.
we were.
Saturday was head and shoulders the best performance of the season to date. The tempo, she passed the ball. You talk about excitement. It was exciting to watch. We were outstanding first half, and we just carried that on. When we got into the game last night, we carried that on.
Yeah. Do you think? We'll ask Ken and Claudia and yourself, Dave. Do you think the squad's big enough to carry that on all season? Come to you, Dave, first.
Well, I think it's interesting when we were talking about the subs earlier. I think what we've got now, which we didn't necessarily have in my time, is we've got a better depth in the squad. You look at the bench, and most times you look at the bench, you could argue that most of them could be starting, or a lot of them could be starting. So he's got lots of changes on every bench he produces these days. So I think the depth is big. I thought it was a blow losing Casey Palmer, obviously on the transfer deadline day, because there's never, it's a terrible time to lose a player. If you're going to lose a player, you've got no chance of replacing him at that point. And whilst Casey probably was never going to be a regular, he was an impact player, and I think he made a difference in games when he came on. He certainly did the previous game at Bristol City. We were flat at Bristol City, and he came on, gave it a spark, scored a goal, we equalised. So I think we certainly going to miss him in terms of what he produced in that respect. But in general, the squad's, I think there's more depth to it than there's been. It's probably since I've been at the club.
And Ken, do you think we can keep that momentum going? Can we keep the pace going like that for the rest of the season? Do you think? Or, I mean, every team has a dip, but do you think we are good enough? Do you think we've got enough in the team to be able to do it like we did last night?
Yeah, I think I agree with Dave. I think the squad is definitely stronger than it was last year. Although, you need a little bit of luck, don't you, along the way? You stay clear of injuries and stuff like that. We've had a bit of bad luck already with Ben Sheaf obviously being injured and Sakamoto being out. So hopefully, we won't have many more injuries. But you do lose a bit of momentum when you lose important players through injury, and you can't help that. So it is nice to have a look on the bench, and there's quite players on there that can change the game. They're not all youngsters, and they're all experienced players that have played in the first team, aren't they? Most of them. So yeah, it's great to have a bench like that. And yeah, as to the question, can we carry it on? I think we can. Yeah, but I say you need a little bit of luck along the way.
Yeah.
And stay clear of injuries. I think we'll be fine.
And Claudio, what about your views on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, for the Championship, we're fine. We've got a decent. It's a strong enough bench. I mean, all the players on the bench could have started.
Yeah,
basically, which in the past we couldn't do that. But then I look at Spurs' bench, and they got like £300 to £400 million worth of players on it. So it's like we're to their Harrods. It's such a big jump.
Next week, the Europa League, aren't they? It's another world again, isn't it? You've got to have that sort of depth at that level.
Well, Jed Spence, who I'd love to have in our squad, who scored that got first goal, he's not in the Europa squad. They've left him out. They can afford to do that, which is bonkers, isn't it? Really, And I mean, they got so much depth. So I wasn't surprised what happened in the end. But we've got enough players. It's juggling the pack the right way and hoping the key ones stay injury free, because if we lose, I mean, Ben Sheaf, I don't know what's happening with Ben at the minute, but when he's fully fit, if ever that's going to happen, you got Sakamoto on there as well, who didn't actually get on. These are very good players when they're actually fit and well. So it's going to be interesting. But there's a lot of players who played on Wednesday. Yes, yesterday, wasn't it? I'll be, if I was that player, like if I was Norman Bissett, I'll be thinking I deserve to start on Saturday after that.
Yeah.
Everybody saw it. Cameras saw it. The whole world saw that. We're playing Spurs. There'll be millions of people worldwide watching that all around the world.
He's already worth 15 million after that last night.
Milan. And I'll tell you what, with Milan as well, he gave them so much trouble the first half that the second half, they had two players down that side of the pitch. We couldn't get up. He couldn't get up the pitch the second half. In fact, we were far stronger over Bidder's side in attacking wise. We couldn't get forward because they were doing a number on him.
The thing is, did you see in the first half? Did you see him? Do Werner? Did you see him sent it the wrong way? He was right in front of us. We were like, we'll have that.
Absolutely. It's class, wasn't it?
Absolutely brilliant. Well, we got some more comments in just a sec. Let's just do a few announcements. If you're looking for car parking this weekend for Swansea, head over to coventryparking.co.uk. You can book there for your car parking. A few car parks around the ground, a lot cheaper than parking at the ground. So get yourselves over to that lovely website there, coventryparking.co.uk. And also, if you still need travel for Leeds and other away travel, go to ccfctravel.co.uk It is cheaper than the new travel that is at the Coventry City at the moment, and it still leaves from the Tesco's car park and down bottom of town as well. So you not bottom of town, is it all by the railway station, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. So get over to the website. You can book your coach travel, and it is a lot cheaper than other coach travels out there, which is brilliant. I said we've got a little competition. This is for fun, okay? This is for fun. Going to ask you three, who are these two players? Everyone else have a little go at this. There you go.
How the hell are we supposed to know that? Well, I'm gonna say the player in the Norwich kit, Sam McCallum, is in the yellow kit. Sam McCallum, that's my guess. He was at the game last night, by the way, as well.
Oh, was he? And Hamer was, wasn't he?
Yeah. And Hamer, yeah.
Yeah.
Are we signing both on loan?
So Sam McCallum, yeah. And who else, Dave, do you think?
Oh, jeez.
We're wearing that awful white kit.
Oh, the white. Which white kit?
The white kit, League One relegation season.
Oh, so is that a clue as to who it is then?
Yeah, it is.
I couldn't begin to think.
No. Okay. What about you, Ken?
Is it Madison?
Could be.
I was just thinking one of them. It's got to be Madison, I think.
Yeah. Who else?
I don't know the other one.
No. Have a stab. Relegation season.
God. Got to change so much since then, haven't we?
Yeah, about 10 times.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I just think one of them. I think Madison's there, but I don't know who the other one is.
Okay, Claudio.
I think it's Madison, but us.
Well, it could be Madison. Yeah. What are you thinking, Madison in the Norwich kit, are you?
Yeah. But I can't think who might be the. I reckon it's going to be
not Tom Bayliss, is it?
Chris Stokes.
Ryan Haynes.
Haynes. Okay.
I'm going for Chris Stokes.
You're going for Chris Stokes. Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who got relegated that year. It's terrible, isn't it? It's like miles away.
Okay. Well, Ken, you're going to have a stab at the second one.
Bayliss.
Okie dokie. Bayliss for you. Okay. All right. Well, the answer is people have been saying Madders, Eccles, Bayliss, Madders, Ben Stevenson, Madders twice. Madders twice. I love it. Webbo says it's the Tesco kit. Yeah.
It could be Ben Stevens because we did play Norwich, didn't we, in the cup?
So it is James Maddison and Ben Stevenson.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
there you go.
That's the last time we played.
Yeah, just a little bit of fun, that is. And here's Madders. Here he is last night, walking off the pitch, around the pitch with our Cov City shirt on. And I've got a lovely little statement from him here. It reads, where is it? It says, home is where the heart is. I'm so proud and privileged to be a Coventry City Academy graduate. As I've got older, I've realised how much Coventry actually means to me. My place of birth and my whole childhood into early adult life. Was a super special feeling to play in this city again with all my friends and family. There, most of them wanted me to lose. Good luck for the rest of the season and beyond. Forever grateful. Coventry PUSB. What a lovely statement.
Yeah.
Absolutely lovely statement.
I thought he got a nice
Um,
welcome, didn't he, as well?
He got a lovely round of applause.
Yeah, he got a good hand, and it was a great, nice touch of his where, doing the lap of someone and clapping the crowd with the shirt.
We were all hoping he weren't going to come on because we knew how dangerous he'd be when he did come on.
Well, and he
just showed you.
Yeah, he was instrumental in the equaliser as well, wasn't he? He got in a pocket of space between our midfield and our back four and created havoc, put a superb ball in, and it's one each. Yeah,
and then out of contrast of all of that, so you had Madders doing a lovely thing like that. I spotted this today. It's from Ben Jackson 07. How many times will Robin Costa completely dominating, then make 4 subs to kill momentum? This isn't the first time. Get him gone ASAP.
Wow.
So, Dave, would you have hauled Mark into the office this morning?
Absolutely not. We would certainly have had a chat about the game, but absolutely not. I think you've got to understand the modern game. Subs are a vital part of the modern game in terms of fitness and energy. If we're expecting our starting 11 to compete against their super subs that come on the field with fresh legs, we're in a different planet. You have to use the subs like it or not. It's the way the modern game is. If we just stayed with the same 11, I would suggest we would have probably lost more heavily than we did.
Because I also think we scored when they made the substitutions. It was almost like they were certain where they were going to start, and we had a break and scored. But within 5 minutes, Maddison and Son, and then when Kulusevski come on, started to dictate the game.
Correct.
And Jed Spence already had a chance where Madders played him in. It was, in some ways, it was coming as whether or not we could just hold out. These are top players. These are, I think some fans are in cloud cuckoo land at times, thinking, it's because you have a one-off really good game it's so easy. Just keep the players on the pitch. It don't work that way.
But they're not going to do it for 90 minutes against a team that's just brought 5 superstar fresh legs on.
Not at all. Exactly.
No.
That's
right, let's
why
see the goal.
That's why you have to take your chances, don't you? When you went on top.
Yeah.
Got to. Right, let's see the goal then, and then we'll go on to our Swansea chat, shall we? I'll tell you what, that is some atmosphere, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Isn't that? Yeah. It's like the acoustics in that ground, that the crowd just bounces off that wall, doesn't it, opposite, and it just creates that ambience around the place, just unbelievable.
I just wonder, was it Ken effing Jeff in? Was it you, Ken?
No, it was somebody behind me, wasn't me?
I'll make you laugh though. Listen to this, guys. So Amy came last night, Will's girlfriend, and she sat in my seat. I was sat behind with Paul Cuttiford, and Robert come up with his dad from the Isle of Wight. They were sat with me. Mark and Shannon in front, Jack and Neil, and Tyler was with us as well. And when that goal went in, Amy stood up to grab William. Will had run down the stairs to the front. He weren't there. He'd gone. He'd legged it down the stairs. He just vanished. He'd like, whoa. Amy was like, stood there going, I went to grab him and he weren't there. Plonker. He's like got a photo online tonight. It's like, when they're in the Telegraph and that. He's got the photo in there. Oh, I don't know. Right, let's get on to Swansea then. We've got Dave, now, I don't know if you've seen this, Dave, but we have a guy called Mr. View Sky. He's got a channel on YouTube and he shows all highlights of old Coventry games. So what he does for us each week, every time we got an opponent, he puts a little video clip together for us back in the day of playing that team. So tonight, we've got Swansea. Enjoy this.
Simpson backing off him. Saved by De Vries. Rangel. Well, that was nicely done. Sent his man completely the wrong way there. And slipped in Pintado. Rangel. It's going to be Gomez. Not far wide. Still Gower. Chance for the cross. Scotland is there. Gomez. Westwood hung on to it. Gomez. Oh, this time he has found the net. Wonderful free kick from Jordi Gomez. Swansea lead. Here comes Fox. Oh, he's found the net. Wonderful free kick from Daniel Fox. Coventry have a leveller with 4 minutes to go.
There you go. Thank you, Mr. Views.
Two
Hey, it was a
free
good
kicks, weren't they? Two fantastic free kicks.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
The beginning
Absolutely
of that
brilliant.
it was like walking football, wasn't it? The guy just, we're all walking our defenders. We have a go. No, that was terrible defending.
Let's hope that isn't us on Saturday. Right, so let's have a little chat. Let's have a little chat then about Saturday, Swansea. Dave, have you got any predictions you think to the team that might come out this weekend?
No, very difficult. It'd be interesting to see what shape he plays because obviously he tinkered with the shape at Watford, and I thought he sort of reverted to the three central defenders and wing backs, and I thought they did this really well. And he played the box in the middle of midfield, which was sort of a throwback to our League One days. So I think it depends on the shape, but it's difficult to second guess when you don't know what shape he's going to play. Obviously, last night he went back to the back four and two old midfield players, and then the three and one up top. I think that's probably the more likely. I think that's his favourite formation for the season so far. I'd like to see Bassett start. That would be my shout. I think I'd like him straight down the middle. He works really hard. He's got pace. He doesn't give the defenders a minute. I think sometimes Ellis makes it too easy for central defenders. He don't make them work hard enough. So that I certainly like to see him play. It worked, didn't it? It worked Saturday, and with different personnel, it worked last night. So there's lots of questions to be asked, I think, and lots of people that will believe that they've got right to the shirt as well.
Yeah, I mean, Ken. I mean, you look at Sante last night. I think that was his best performance he's had in a Cov City shirt so far. I mean, do you think he should get another run out? I agree with Dave on Bassett. Do you think Sante deserves another run out?
Yeah, I do. I thought it was a great finish from him, wasn't it? We've got to have a look. He's got to give him a run of games at some stage, and so we can have a good look at him.
But you could argue that Mason Clark will be disappointed because I thought he did really well on Saturday, playing in a very similar position. So it's a nice position to be in. It is. Yeah. But I think it is difficult. It is difficult because a lot of players play in the same position, don't they? You can move them about. Sante can play in different positions as well. I was listening to Clinton Morrison
on Sky Sports yesterday, and he was bigging up Sante. He thought he had a really great game, and he thinks he'll score a lot of goals for us this season. So, but it was a great finish. It was a great ball in by Baradoni, wasn't it? Fantastic ball, and it was a fantastic finish. He was in the right place at the right time, and if he can do that every week, we'll be laughing, won't we? But that's what you got to do. You got to be consistent. So we're putting a great performance in against the Premier League side, but we've got to do the same again now on Saturday against in the Championship. We've got to do that. We've got to be consistent, and that's what gets you points.
And Claudia, I mean, Dave just mentioned there Mason Clark, F1, Mason Clark. I mean, do you pick him over Hadji Wright this weekend? Because he did play against Watford. He was epic on that left-hand side against Watford.
Yeah, I'd bring in Mason Clark in for Wright. I'd bring in Torp in for Jamie Allen and leave the rest on there. I think just go again. I think they're more only talk because I still think we need something a little bit extra as well. You know what I mean? Going forward, just somebody else who might be up. Well, to be honest, he hasn't hit target enough, has he? Really? He looks like a player who could. After that first game against Sheffield Wednesday, we just thought he was going to smack in goals from all over the place, and it hasn't really happened, does it? But but then again, you know, Alan's energy, it's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, this is proper FIFA stuff now. Trying to pick your team. And
I mean,
I'd bring in Mason Clark for Wright because I'm not. It's weird, isn't it? Because a lot of fans I see it in a lot of socials where they say Hadji Wright's our best player. I don't see it, but some people do. It's strange, isn't it? I'd soon have Mason Clark out there.
Do you think Robbins knows his best team at the moment? Because
I was going to ask that next. Yeah, do you think he knows his best team? I'm not too sure he does. I'm not too sure he still knows which team to start yet. Because I mean, I said on Sunday after the Watford game, the three at the back was really good, wasn't it, Dave? It was really good that the way he changed it last Saturday against Watford. I thought was a breath of fresh air again, because like last season we started with the three at the back and we started leaking goals like anything. Then he switched it to the back four at Preston and he stuck with that. And then he switched it last weekend and we played really, really well. Dave, can I ask you two questions here? Do you think the team that started last night will have the legs for Saturday? What would happen after last night today at the club? What would happen now with those players?
Well, generally they'd have the day off, but occasionally they would come in for a warm, like a warm down session. So possibly on the back of it being a home, if it had been an away game, they would have had the day off. That would have been as simple as. But they may well have been in this morning just to have a loosening, just an hour, sort of stretching and doing a bit of light gym work. The game's coming thick and fast because preparation time for Saturday is now really down to just tomorrow, Friday, isn't it?
And do you think that team's got the legs to start again with a tweak?
That's what I was talking about. When we talked about the substitutions from last night again, one, you have to make the changes because you need to change because they've made those changes and they've got the legs. But also you've got to be having half an eye on Saturday as well. They're not. What you've got to think is Van Eyck's played almost every minute so far, hasn't he? I think Eccles has played an awful lot of minutes. So there's a lot of players on there that played a lot of minutes. So I think I think he might revert back to the Watford type side, to be honest.
Yeah. It seems
you've
more.
You've almost seen two sides. You've seen the side at Watford on Saturday. You've seen the Wednesday night side, and I think he'll go back to a similar lineup that he played at Watford.
Claudio, do you think he'll go back to the three at the back, or do you think he'll play a 4?
I think he'll play a 4. Watford were a different prospect to Swansea, and Swansea don't do the passing game like they used to. That's all gone now, isn't it?
It does depend on the opposition, you're right, Claudia. And I thought, we almost matched up Watford on Saturday because they played three at the back. But we were just, like I said, the way that we worked the box on Saturday for me was the clever bit, and that's where we outplayed them because they didn't quite match up the same in midfield, and I just thought we passed around them superbly well. But it depends, they'll what they will be doing. They'll be spending, the analysts will be spending all of today looking at what Swansea done over the last 2 or 3 games, and they'll be putting all the packages together to show to the players in preparation. So I don't know enough about Swansea to make any comment about what their shape is, but it will very much depend on how they line up as well as to what shape he goes with.
Yeah, it was interesting. The Watford game. Sorry, it was interesting the Watford game. The way we caught cleverly out there managing, didn't he? Really, with the lineup.
Yeah.
And he said we caught him out because he was rushing around looking if we had any history of playing this way because we didn't, because it was just totally caught him by surprise.
Yeah.
The way we lined up. And that's why when we were talking about this in the last show, the old goalkeeper trick when the goalkeeper went down to buy him a bit of time. And then had a bit of a drinks break, didn't they? Obviously, that try and get a bit organised because they were panicking a bit because they couldn't cope with the way we were playing. So, it was interesting. Yeah.
Claudio, any comments coming in? Let's get some. See what the.
You want to click them? I'll read them.
Saturday's game. I was going to say tomorrow then. Saturday.
Can you click them, Miles? I'll read them.
Say that again.
If you click them, I'll read them.
Oh yeah. Let's go. Okie dokie.
We have got
2 seconds. Go there. Start
there. David Granigan, a question for Dave. What do you think our strongest starting 11 is out of our current squad, if all fit?
Right. Okay. So we're not sure about the goalkeeper, so I suppose you'd have to go with Dovin to start off with, or despite what I said about Ben earlier. So obviously, if you're playing 4-2-3-1, it will be Van Uyck for me with Thomas and Binks at the central defenders, Bidwell at left back. We're assuming everybody's fit, are we? So Sheaf and. It's Sheaf and then either Eccles or Torp, and then Redoni. I think Asante on the right, maybe Mason Clark on the left, and I would go for Bassett down the middle. That would be mine. And that tells you a lot about what I think of some players as well.
I love it. Absolutely love it. That's brilliant.
It's early days. It's early days. It's long.
It is. It is.
Marble 2000. Coventry had a consistent, gritty performance. Meanwhile, Spurs played exactly like what they were, a group of 11 who'd never played together. But once Maddison, Kulusevski and Spence were on, good night.
Yeah.
Well, but only just.
Only just.
He's a Tottenham fan, yeah?
Yeah, Daniel, come on, you Spurs. Spurs fan here. We got lucky to win the game yesterday. If you were more clinical and putting away the chance you got, it would have been 3-0. You played well. They were booed off.
They were booed off.
They were?
Yeah. Paul Hughes thought Haji was still greedy at times, where if he looked up, he could have played in others a few times. Very frustrating.
Yeah.
James Hollyoak loved Norman's passion. He kept kissing the badge on his shirt. Ian Small, even all, do we sense the tide is turning? Bassett, in my opinion, is the real deal, a raw diamond.
Definitely, yeah.
I feel.
I think that's been the theme tonight. I think we're all agreed on that, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely, without doubt.
And what's going to happen is on Saturday, whereas we've not beaten Swansea at home for 43 years, we're going to go there Saturday thinking,
Here we go. Stats come out, Dave. This is it, Ken. It's all over. He's got the stat we ain't won at 43 years at home.
We haven't.
It's not like Preston, is it?
No. But, that team, I reckon, was possibly, if Jim Brown's watching, he might put me right here. It could be possibly one of our youngest ever lineups ever, with most of the team under the age of 22. Unbelievable, playing in the top league. Likes of Jim Blythe, Gillespie, Jacobs, Roberts, Danny Thomas, Paul Dyson, Steve Whitten, Mark Haitley, Gary Thompson, Steve Hunt, Rudy Kaiser. What would we do for Mark Haitley and Gary Thompson up front now?
Anyway. When was that? 1980?
1981.
81. Year before.
Before then, we rarely lost to Swansea. We've not played them that many times, actually.
No.
It's weird. It's it's currently at 12. I think it's 12. We've won 12, drawn 13, lost 12.
Brilliant.
So but most of our wins were before 1981, obviously. Trevor Merriman, Premier League style of play really suits us. Eccles, round of applause. Yeah, when we break Frank Wood, I think Emma has a selection headache for Swansea in a good way. Eccles always gives 100%, and he gets a lot of assists for his defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
Lewis Badham, even though gutted in the way we lost but not the end of the world, was a free hit against the top 6 Prem side and showing what we can do. Play like that league, we will go places. PUSB. Mark Rainbow, hello to Dave. It was great to work for you, albeit in a very minor way. That's a Mark Rainbow. Graham Cockrell, I thank Jay Madison for his post on X. Still a cough kid.
Yeah.
Glenn, Sky Blue Hub. Positive is the performances against Premier League sides are getting better and better. Ralph Wiggins, I hope they keep Binks and Thomas together for Saturday. Also keep Bidwell at fullback. See, Bidder's got a lot of criticism for that goal, the winning goal. But Bentancur, in the 92nd minute, produced a defence splitting pass.
Yeah.
Is why they pay 45 million for those sort of players.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about that pass. You know, it's got between everybody.
It shouldn't have got there in the first place. That was the issue.
Yeah.
That's true. We should have gone down the corner flag, shouldn't it?
Absolutely should have done. Yeah, when Ben had the ball, he had a lot. Most of his team was in front of him. He's got to go. He can't play the short ball. He's got to go down the line. I think.
Mark Robbins referred to it. He said the whole game they were avoiding the press by playing the ball around it. And the first time, it's almost like somebody forgot to tell Ben what the instructions were.
Yeah. Well, Jamie Redknapp said that as well on Sky Sports. Yeah,
he played it straight. He played it straight into it.
Yeah,
played it straight into it.
First time they did it, and it went right. It went right.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, had we been in the Premier League, and my son said this, he says, "I'll tell you what, we'd have done a better job than Luton did if we'd have gone up that year." Because I still think, as a club, we are far more attractive for players to come to Coventry City than Luton Town. End of. And I think we'd have made a fist of it in the Premier League that season. Definitely.
That's a good question to Dave. Dave, do you think we would have made a good shout for it?
I don't know. Listen, this will sound strange coming from me because anybody that knows me knows I'm not a Luton fan. But I thought they did make a fist of it. To be fair, they made a better fist than I thought that they would. So it's an unknown, isn't it? I don't know. Would we have kept Victor? Who would we have brought in? The problem with the playoff final is winning on whatever it was last days in May. The window is very, very, very short for whoever wins that playoff final to recruit to be competitive in the Premier League. So it's a $64 million question. Who knows? I have to say, I thought Luton did relatively well, all things being considered.
Yeah, I said out the 3 that went up, they gave it more of a go than Burnley and Sheffield United. They just, for me, they just didn't really give it a go. I thought Luton did give it a good shout, to be honest.
Dave, touching on the transfers then, what's it like on that transfer deadline day? It must be horrendous.
We had some different transfer deadline days, to be honest. A couple early on in League One. I think the first one in League One on the January deadline, we brought in something like 3 or 4, and we let probably 5 go. It was just chaotic. It was just a chaotic night. Then some have been quiet. Some we've known we're not going to do any business going into the last day or two. So it just varies on the circumstance. But certainly that first one in League One was absolutely chaotic. We had the building full of people right up to 11 o'clock at night. Johnson Clark Harris went to Bristol Rovers, and we got the paperwork done about 3 minutes to 11. It was carnage, to be honest. But the rest of them were pretty calm.
I've got another question for you. I don't know if you've seen Sunderland Till I Die on Netflix.
No, I've seen a couple of them. Yeah.
Would you ever consider doing something similar behind the scenes?
Yeah, it was never really an option for us. I think, depending on the commercial terms, and it's something you have to consider. You look at the Wrexham project, and what they've done at Wrexham is absolutely brilliant. And the 2 American guys who have sort of brought it to this country, Reynolds and his mate, whose name escapes me. They haven't put an awful lot of their own money in it. A lot of this is the money that's gone into Wrexham has been Netflix money. So the concept of what they've achieved is fantastic. And to be fair, Wrexham is a lovely little football club, and they've had years and years of struggle. So it's been brilliant for them.
I just want to get out of this league before they come up, because it'd do me head in. Can't cope with it. I've got to get out of this league before they come up.
What can't you cope with?
I just can't cope with the way they've done it. Bang, 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 bang. Going up, and every season it's doing me head in now.
Didn't we do that? Nearly.
No, we've stopped where we are. We haven't gone up yet.
Nearly did it.
Yeah,
we're nearly there, Dave. We're nearly there.
Listen, their journey will come to a natural end soon as well. You can't keep doing it. They might get in the championship, but I don't think they'll be going beyond the championship.
Yeah. Dave, there's a question I want to ask you about kits. About the kit, the new black kit came out recently. I just want to know the process. That obviously was chosen. These were chosen the season or quite a few months before they go into.
The process is you're talking about the kit for next year now.
Right.
They will have all the the concepts and the mock-ups in association with Hummel and the designer Rob Breville, who's absolutely brilliant, by the way. Some of the designs that he comes out with are incredible, and I actually say I think this kit is, because it's simplicity. I think this is one of the nicest kits we've had. It's just a simple old-fashioned sky blue with not a lot else in there. Obviously, you've got the indentation in there, which again is nice, and that theme's run across the 3 kits, hasn't it? But the process will be started now for next season.
The white one hasn't probably gone as well as probably people. I've heard people say it's a bit plain, the white one, but the black one certainly with the retro badge will outsell. I think a lot of kits. And who makes that final decision on? Yeah, we're going with that one then, or is it a committee of you?
Well, certainly when before, I would imagine that Doug would be influential now. Certainly when it was during my time, we had a group of 4 people: myself, Tynan Scope, Mark Hornby, and Mike Reed. We call ourselves the Kit Gurus. We spent a lot of time working on the designs, and I said this guy Rob Breville, who's a brilliant designer, gave us great input. But we got really involved with the detail on some of the shirts, of recent times, and I think it was the detail that made them so special.
Yeah, definitely. Hummel have been fantastic.
Yeah,
definitely. Let's get some more comments in before we call it a night then, because we've kept Dave long enough.
All travel advice. Huge thank you for everything you did for the club and the fan base. You played a huge part in bringing a lot of disillusioned fans back to the club, helped the club on its journey. Sad to see you leave.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Glenn, just want to say a big thank you to Dave for the great job he did at Cov. I had my reservations at the start, but he's been a great servant for the Sky Blues. All the best for the future.
Cheers, Glenn.
He's
enjoying cricket, Glenn.
Yeah, loving it. Been watching it today.
Clive Eakin wants to know, because he mentioned you on Monday, saying wasn't he watching Worcestershire the other day or something?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a big Worcestershire man, yeah.
Yeah, we were on the BBC studios with me and Claudia, and he did mention you, didn't he, Claudia?
He did.
Who was that? Sorry, who mentioned it?
Clive Eakin.
Clive was commentating. Worcestershire played Warwickshire last week
Yeah.
at Worcester, and Clive was commentating all 4 days. Yeah, I did see him.
Yeah.
My guys, great game last night. We're improving all the time. Start was set on Saturday. He's good.
Yeah.
Do you still keep in touch with Mark Robbins?
Yeah, I've tried not to bother him too much. In fairness to Mark, he calls me more than I call him. But I did actually speak to him.
You're not picking the team, are you?
Sorry?
You're not picking the team, are you?
No. Never go there. That's why you pay the professionals for, isn't it? But I did actually speak to him yesterday morning. But it was the first time for a while. But now we keep in touch.
Good, love it.
Good.
Doug Bolam, Bassett, Rodoni and Eccles were outstanding. Wilson Allen had a great game, although Allen looked very tired towards the end. Miles is right. Hardy is getting a tad greedy on the ball. Eccles, man of the match.
Yeah.
Mark Rainbow, the discipline the team played when Spurs had the ball was impressive, with lots of communication. Wayne Littlewood, we still lack the killer instinct, which is the frustration. Has you right? I'm sorry, it's just a no from me. So annoying, makes you scream in anger. Mark Rainbow, I thought Wright was overplaying the ball too. Spurs seem wise to his tricks, turns and touches. The more direct approach from players like Asante and Rodoni had more impact. What I did notice from Tottenham compared to us is in the first 20 minutes how fast their midfielders were in closing down play. Bergvall, the number 15, which they signed for 10 million quid from Garden, I think. And apparently he stayed there last season and they brought him in this season. 10 million quid, he looks a bargain. The blonde lad who's in midfield, I thought it was brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. And apparently the lad I was sat next to was telling me they've signed a 16-year-old from Croatia, and apparently they're leaving him in Croatia for 3 years. I mean, that's what you can do, that, can't you? That at Premier League level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can afford to do that. Yeah.
Paul Cutsford, no handball. Amazingly, I watched it back last night. I can't remember that at all.
Yeah, definitely was.
Gavin Collins, don't think Wright has the ability to play up front with his back to goal or be a focal point, which is probably why Robbins doesn't play him down the middle. Pretty sure he has a twin brother. Some games looked unplayable, Oxford, but others looked clumsy and anonymous. Could be great if he was consistent.
Yeah.
What a great description.
Well, Claudio, you're not welcome in Block 18 anymore. You've changed.
There you go.
It's Glenn. Where was the handball, Paul? When was the handball? Was it second half?
Second half. So I'm sure it was just after Forster came out and clattered the players, and we went to whip the ball in, and their player was on the floor. I can't exactly remember who, but he was on the floor, and the ball came across hard and low, and I swear blind it hit his hands. It's like, do you remember Fadzine's thing where he threw himself on the floor at Luton and he handballed it? Because he said to us when we interviewed him, he did handball it. It was something like that in a sort of similar way. He sort of dived himself at the ball and it bounced off him. And the ref could see, and he didn't give it. And even Eccles went up to him when the ball went out of play. He went up to him and said, he started having to go at the ref. That was one thing I liked about Eccles last night. When a decision went against us, he went up to the referee. He was in the referee's face, not like, because we don't do that enough, do we? We're always saying, why don't the players have a go? Go to the ref and voice their opinions. And last night Eccles did that. I noticed that about Eccles. He did a great job doing that.
I noticed we had a Premier League referee as well last night, didn't we? Again,
Yeah.
It wasn't a Premier League performance from the referee. There was
no, it wasn't.
No,
They never
he gave-
are, but
No.
Without the VAR, they're not.
no.
And Joyner, evening got fantastic performance and atmosphere last night. We were robbed of a clear corner after their keeper hit the ball over the bar. Oh yeah,
Yes,
Yeah, Bissett's. Yeah,
I couldn't believe that.
yeah.
Lee Dan, evening guys, excellent performance versus Spurs. Let's carry that on to Saturday. I'm so happy it's 3 p.m. kickoff. I can't wait.
Yeah, I could get the train over this week.
Assassins Unite. Wilson should be our number one. Same back four and plenty of midfielders and forwards coming good.
Yeah.
What I hope is restored after the last couple of games. Performances mean a lot, as Claudio said. I'm excited for Saturday. Can see us taking a lot of confidence from last night.
Well, let's hope so. Yeah.
Lee Dan, my only concern is if Rodoni gets injured, who plays in the number 10 role?
Yeah, I think that's my concern. And I think when you asked me to name my team, I probably forgot to say Rodoni would obviously be the 10. But we that, and that's what I said about Casey Palmer going. We had options when Casey was in the building. We haven't got many options for the 10 role now.
Yeah.
I think as a squad, though, our problem is we've got virtually the same defenders as last season. We've kept 3 clean sheets in the last 28 matches, and we are conceding goals. I mean, the season we got to the playoff final, we had 21, 22 clean sheets. That's
Correct.
the reason we got into the playoffs, because of those clean sheets. We're winning games 1-0. We got the odd 0-0 draw.
Yeah,
We're not,
absolutely. And
2 seasons ago, that would have been a 1-0 win, wouldn't it, last night?
Yeah, and that's right. And I spoke to Richard Overson this morning about this, and he pointed out that season that we got to Wembley in the playoffs, we won 1-0 at Watford, and that's what should have happened on Saturday.
Yeah.
1-0. And that's the difference. And we're not quite right. We don't. I'm not happy with the. I think that's an area we should have improved in some of the central defenders. I think they're all very similar.
Do you think if we're there or thereabouts in January, do you think we'll do something?
Well, I absolutely think we'll try, yeah. And I think the key to it is, as we proved the season we got to Wembley, just got to be hanging in there at the turn of the year, haven't you? As long as you're in the top half within touching distance of the playoffs, that's where you need to be. And we proved that with the run that we went on when we got there. I think he'll absolutely think that if we're in a reasonable position, that he'll definitely try and strengthen it.
Yeah, definitely. Right, a few more comments then before we call it a night.
Lee down. What was up the scoreboard last night, guys? All over the place, poor reception, etc.
Oh, yeah, they didn't even put who was going on and off or whatever.
Yeah, I know.
It's a shame the speaker system still doesn't work.
I know it's.
Well,
awful.
I thought they'd replaced the speaker system. I thought they'd fixed that.
Well, it's stronger. It's really loud on the players' tunnel side. It's terrible the other side.
Well, it will because you're high up, not closer to the speakers up there.
It's so loud. It's so loud.
It's. I think it's fine in the West Stand. I sat in the East Stand for a pre-season friendly, the Werder Bremen game, and I couldn't hear what they were saying.
No, you can't hear it at all.
In small, I hope I don't jinx it, but we are due to take a few chances. 3-0. MR should revert to 4-4-1-1 or 4-5-1. But set to start for me. Right behind him, drifting left. Not expecting HW to defend.
Yeah.
Well, we do.
Or Radoni behind Norman.
There you go.
Frank Wood. I think Torp needs to get in the gym. He gets knocked off the ball too easily for me. I'm sure Thomas was a warrior last night. Bidwell turned into Jake Roberto Bidwell. Eccles was world class. Love Bassett and Asante energy and chemistry. Right, Mr. Sitter. Did anybody see Postecoglou's post-match interview, though? It's amazing how a manager changes from when he first went there, where he was quite chipper, wasn't he? And a bit cheeky and a bit loud and brash. He sounds really cheesed off now already. He's only been there 18 months.
He was very quiet last night. You could hardly hear him. He was very sort of the way he speaks. He sort of whispers, doesn't he? But he's very complimentary of Coventry. He said that, they're a good side, and he said we have to change it to stay in the game, and we hung in there. He said, but he said he did compliment us. He said we were a very good side. So
yeah, very much so. Right, then we'll have to call it a night. We've had so many comments. We ain't going to get any more. So, so we are going to have to call it a night there because we kept Dave longer than what he would normally stay on for.
That's my bedtime.
And I'm sorry we couldn't get Dan on. His internet played up. But, I mean, have you enjoyed yourself, Dave? Have you enjoyed yourself tonight?
Yeah, really enjoyed it. I'll do it again sometime if you invite me. So
yeah, definitely.
Come on at any time. But before you go, let's get a score for Saturday. So we
normally do a prediction every match.
Right. Okay. Well, you just talked about clean sheets, Claudio, and I'm a great believer in clean sheets, and so I'm going to predict a 2-0 home win.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Like that. Love it. Ken?
Yeah, I'm going to go for a home win, but I'm going to go for one more. I'm going to go 3-0. I'm quite confident we'll win 3-0. None conceded.
Hold on, you said 3-2 on Monday night.
No, that was for
that was last night.
I'm sure you said 3-2 on Saturday because I said a sexy 1-0 win.
Well, I'm going 3-0 now anyway. Stop checking.
I'll be happy with a 1-0. Just gets over the line. And stay in touch.
I'm gonna go 1-0 as well. I'll be happy with a clean sheet and 1 goal will do me, even if it's in the 96th minute of injury time. I don't care. I just hope we get the 3 points because we can go above Swansea if we win this one as well. So should be pretty good, and the atmosphere should be good. Let's hope that people didn't go last night have afford to go this time. So I've got to give a big shout. Sorry.
It was a good crowd last night.
It was a good crowd. Very good. I just need to give a big shout out to Colin Bramfield. He's seen me before the game. He came over and he wants to come on the show. I've got his details. So I said, we'll get him on the show one week. So good evening, Colin. Brilliant. Oh, have you all enjoyed yourselves then? On to Saturday.
Yeah.
Home. Let's hope for 3 points. Let's hope that last night and Watford has started our season. It looked like it had last night carried on from Watford, didn't it? And it all looks like really happy and everyone's buoyant. And we're going into this Swansea game and hopefully we can bring home the 3 points. But thank you again, Dave. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Just stay online.
Claudio and Ken, thank you.
Okay, no problem. We'll be back. Our next live show, by the way, will be on Sunday. We're doing a live stream on Saturday, Miles.
If I get the early enough train, we will be doing a live stream from down by the club shop because that's the best signal. So if you want to come and have a little chat with us, join us down by the club shop. We get a better signal down there. Come and have a little chat. We'll advertise it if we're going to be there. I've just got to check my train times because I want to come over and not have to drive this weekend. So it'd be nice because I'm not DJing this weekend, so it's nice to have a weekend off so I can have a few beers. Yeah. And,
otherwise, we'll be back Sunday. I'll be back Sunday's night show, 7:30. So a normal time.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Sorry we couldn't get to everyone's comments. There have been that many. Thanks again, Dave, Claudio, and Ken. And it's a good night for me. We'll hopefully see you Saturday afternoon just before kick-off. If not, we'll see you Sunday night. Take care and play up Sky Blues.
Play up Sky Blues. Good night.
Yeah, PSB.
Sky Blue Fans TV, for the fans, by the fans.